Hi, welcome to another instalment of Bob Goes Fishing. You may note that I've got a new title screen. I decided to mock up this screen with some pictures of fish that I've caught in the past. So when I have a blank day, which I do from time to time, in fact recently more often than not, at least at the start you can see that I have actually caught some fish in the past. Having watched a video recently, I bought myself some Fox Spikey lures. They're 4cm lures, about the size of small fry really. The little spikes on these lures vibrate in the water, and combined with the floppy tail, this is supposed to make them irresistible to perch. As we know, perch, well small ones at least, are fairly suicidal, being the small boy's first fish very often. So I was fairly confident that I would get something. I didn't expect to get a monster, but I expected a few small perch. I had a look around the fishery earlier in the week and sorted out likely spots that I thought would potentially hold some perch. Here I'm fishing a channel which links into the lock cutting, and it's a fairly static piece of water. There is a very slight flow going from left to right in this picture, and I'm casting across to that tree that is overhanging the water, getting as close to that margin as I can before retrieving right up to the near bank. I did have one little snatch on the line while here, but I'm not sure if that was a fish or not. Anyway, I then moved on to an island where the far side of the island is a main stream, and you can see in this picture the flow. But on this near bank there's a tree in front of me there jutting out into the water, and there's this slack pool up against the reeds. When I saw this spot earlier in the week, I thought it looked like a classic perch whip. But it would seem that there were no perch at home on the day. So I moved a bit further down on the island here, where you can now see that I'm really in the mainstream, but there was slacker water along the edge of these reeds. I wasn't as confident about this swim, I must admit, and in fact it didn't produce anything. I think, to be honest, we'd had rain the night before, and I think the level was up and the flow was perhaps just a bit too strong. The channel on the other side of the island is below the weir and therefore is much slacker, so I moved around there, and once again I'd spotted a few locations that I wanted to try. This one is just below a small weir there on the left, and you can see there's not much flow coming over and the water's not moving very fast, so I tried all around this spot. I was casting over to those reeds, I was casting into the pool below the weir, and I was making sure I kept the lure going right up to this tree that had fallen into or tree branch that had fallen into the water. So despite my hopes for those swims around the island, none of them produced anything. So I walked back up onto the channel where I started and tried a spot I hadn't tried the first time, which was at the end of the section you can fish. And I tried casting down the side here where that willow is overhanging the water. But once again there was nothing, not a touch. So if there were perch there, they weren't interested in my lure. Or perhaps there just weren't any perch there. Anyway, I then moved along the channel and I came to a pontoon. It's in fact like a little chain ferry to get people across to the other side. But once again, my thoughts were that perch like holding out under structures and things. So I thought, let's try taking the lure along the edge of the pontoon and see if we can do any good there. But while my theory might have been good, in practice, once again, there were no perch. I next moved to the bank opposite the island where I'd fished a bit earlier, and I tried a couple of places along here. They didn't really look as perchy as some of the other spots I'd tried, so I wasn't surprised when once again I didn't get anything. As a final throw of the dice, so to speak, I walked down the road away and went to the lock cutting, or below the lock, and here there is a mooring space for the boats awaiting to go into the lock. We are told that perch like these sort of places, so I tried pulling the lure along the edge of the platform there, and you probably won't be surprised to learn that it didn't produce anything. With all my ideas exhausted, I decided to move over to the mill stream and try for chub. The water level was up a bit from my previous visit when I didn't really do that well, so I was hopeful that with a bit more water in the stream things might be a bit more productive today. I would mention at this point that I bought myself a little body camera, and I have been filming all of today's action on this body camera. It's only about the size of a matchbox, a little bit deeper, but it's quite amazing really in such a small package that it achieves really quite good results. Anyway, I've dropped a fairly large piece of cheese paste downstream there, and I've got my eye on the rod top. This spot is in fact generally regarded, I think, as one of the best chub swims on the mill stream. So I'm hopeful. In fact, I didn't need to wait too long, but you will see that my decision to position my body camera near my left shoulder wasn't ideal. So I'm into the fish, but as you see, as I put my left arm across to control the reel, I effectively block most of the shot. So I think next time we'll try the right shoulder. You now get a better view of what's going on. You can see the fish down there in the mainstream. They give really good account of themselves with the water flowing down at a fair pace. I'm taking care not to allow this fish to dive into the bank because I've lost fish like that in the past. Anyway, it's in the net now, so safe and sound. It had actually taken the bait quite deeply. It was definitely a disgorger job, but fortunately chub have big mouths, so it wasn't too difficult to get the hook out. A quick weighing before I put this lovely looking fish back in the water. It was beautifully conditioned fish in this stream, they really are. Another tip to myself for next time: make sure I get far enough back from the action so that I can actually get the scales in shot when I'm weighing the fish, rather unlike here where you can see the fish okay, but and you can see it's being weighed, but there's no sign of the scales at all. 2 pounds 7 ounces. Not massive, obviously, but a really nice fish, and it sort of made the day. I didn't get any more, but I was more than happy to catch that after my few hours of perch fishing, which were really totally unsuccessful. So let's put him back, and that's the end of today's video. As always, thank you for watching. Only one fish, but I hope you enjoyed the attempts at catching perch, even if they were unsuccessful. So until the next time, it's bye for now.